Joined alongside by Stingrays head coach Spencer Carbery here as the South Carolina Stingrays getting set for the second round of the playoffs, the conference semifinals versus the Adirondack Thunder. And Coach, thanks for joining us. We talked a lot about before the postseason in our interviews how it was a different animal when the playoffs started. How'd you feel your team rose to the occasion in round one with a 4-1 series win against a tough Kalamazoo squad?
I thought the result and the way that the first round went was really, really well. Not just because it was 4-1, but we were prepared. Our guys were ready for the challenge and knew that the intensity was going to be ramped up, knew that the importance of every little play during the game is ramped up, and our guys were ready for that. And Kalamazoo was rolling into the playoffs, having played desperate hockey for the last month of the season, must-win games every night. I think maybe they ran out of gas a little bit just trying to get into the playoffs, but with all that, still, I was impressed with the way that we handled it, and our guys definitely took it to heart being prepared.
When you look offensively, we talked earlier in the season about you're trying to find that ability to score goals. It's been something you've been very successful in down the stretch and now in the postseason. What do you like about, it might change, but the chemistry of lines that you have right now as these groups are rolling offensively?
A couple things we like. We like our balance up front. We tend to believe that all three of our lines can produce offensively, and our back end can chip in as well. So balanced is, I would say, one of our strongest things up front with our forward group, and I would even throw our decor into that as well. Is any one line can carry us on any different night, and that's a positive. That's the casual fan may not know, but it's hard. Because this time of year, a lot of teams look for matchups. They want to put a certain line or a certain D pair out against your best line or top line or maybe a couple of key players, but it's hard to do that when the opposing coaches, the other team, they look down your lineup and it's, okay, well, that line was great the other night. That line had 2 and 1 each. The other night, they scored 4 goals. Hey, it's just hard to do when you have that type of balance, especially in this league with only 3 lines. So that's probably our strongest. I don't think it's our chemistry is great on the lines and that, but we've interchanged some things, and it's still all 3 lines seem to continue to produce, which is really important this time of year.
Coach, 2 more for you. The Adirondack Thunder, our opponent you saw a couple times this year. Obviously, your good friend Cale McLean on the other bench. It'd be nice to see him, but then you go to work against a tough squad that also won their series 4-1. What challenges they present? What can you tell us about what we'll see this series with a tough Thunder squad coming into town this weekend?
A lot of challenges. A lot. Where do you want to start? They're well coached, as you know, with CMAC back there, and knowing that they're they're going to be dialed in, and they're going to be smart, and they're going to defend us really, really hard. And there's a lot of different things that from watching the video and how they beat Manchester in the first round. And some people, because a lot of the lower seeds have won, and it's upsets. But I think you and I talked. There's no upsets in this. It doesn't matter what your seed is in the ECHL in the playoffs, and you sort of see that in the first round here. But back to Adirondack, yeah, they've got tremendous forward group with throughout the depth. They've got a ton of depth as well. A lot of skilled forwards that all can score, that can make plays, that compete extremely hard on the puck, and then they defend really well. Their decor, they've got some big guys back there that are going to make it really difficult on us. And then Appleby's played really well as well. He's a real big kid, has a pedigree of winning. Was I think he won the Mem Cup last year with Oshawa, and he's a young kid. But that's one of the hardest trophies to win in all of hockey, and he led his team up. They've got a good team, and it's just going to get more difficult and more difficult. And as long as our guys are prepared for that and know that the opponent is on a roll as well, it'll be a fun series.
Lastly, for your coach, Mark Dekinich, saying how much your guys fed off the energy in this building. A couple great crowds on home ice. You have home ice advantage in this series. You get to start here the traditional 2-3-2 format. What can you say to the folks to continue coming out as we ramp up in the postseason? Because it was a lot of fun last weekend to win on home ice, and hopefully that's accomplished again this weekend.
It really is. And even the second half of the year, I would say some of our crowds in the second half of the year and in this first round of the playoffs have been tremendous. And not only with the turnout numbers-wise of having 4,000 or 5,000 people in the building, but the energy in the building and our fans getting behind our team and recognizing momentum in games and when we score and when we need a big shift. It's been awesome. You can feel the energy. Some people, come to the game and don't really get that aspect of it or don't know how much of an impact that a good rambunctious crowd has on what's going on the ice and the players. And our guys feed off it and love it. And that's hopefully we can continue that in the second round here against Adirondack, a great matchup, a Friday, Saturday night in our building. Hopefully we can have a couple of great crowds again.
Coach, looking forward to a fantastic series. Thanks for giving us the preview here, and we'll chat with you soon.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, Fishy.